You are listening to a reproduction of Uncle Sam's Farm Radio School from the United States Department of Agriculture in 1926. Disclaimer: do not assume content reflects current scientific knowledge, policies, or practices. This broadcast was aired on the 6th of October of 1926.
This evening marks the opening of Uncle Sam's Poultry Radio School. Students already enrolled and others who wish to become members will give us their attention for the next few minutes. Most of you will make valuable use of the printed talks which are sent without charge to those who request enrollment blanks. Send your requests to this station. We are now going to introduce our head professional and other experts on poultry raising of the United States Bureau of Animal Industry. From him, you will hear the first of our regular Wednesday lessons in poultry.
That old six-word sentence, "a stitch in time saves nine," is sure true when it comes to keeping hens well. Not much use doing anything with a dollar hen when she gets a bad case of roup except cut off her head, then clean up so the rest of the flock won't catch it. Best way is to keep roup out of the flock altogether. Prevention is better than cure every time. I keep my hens healthy by keeping the old weather eye open for disease all the time. I believe in curing a cold by not catching one. Remember the days when the wife would say, "Well, little Percy's got to catch the measles sometime. They all get it sooner or later. Might as well let him get 'em while the weather's warm." With all respect to the beliefs of earlier days, I quit taking stock in that motto when I left off wearing red flannels to cure rheumatism. Come out here with me, and I'll show you how I fight disease in my flock. Disease and I are sworn enemies. You'll get to know that when you see the sunlight streaming through the windows, lighting up the dark corners of the hen house. Well, here we are. Don't bother to shut the door. I let the chickens run out these bright Indian summer days. I read a lot of bulletins from the Department of Agriculture. Get the information straight from headquarters. Well, somewhere I read this. Remember it because it's true. Even under the most favorable conditions, there is likely to be considerable mortality in the poultry yard. Hence, the importance of taking no chances of inviting more losses than are necessary. Believe me, I don't invite losses to come and visit me. It's true, all right, that lots of chickens die. That's why you've got to keep disease out of your yards. We keep more chickens than most other farm stock. A farmer probably has a flock of 100 chickens to 10 cows, 6 or 8 horses, a few sheep, a dog, and a couple of cats. The chickens are often shut up tight. Then when disease begins in the flock, almost before the farmer knows it, the hens are sitting around on the roosts and getting pale. Then they die. Don't let disease get started. If you keep the birds healthy, they'll be better able to resist sickness. Some of the best poultry farmers owe their success to this principle. There are 5 main causes of sickness in chickens: filth, dampness, poor ventilation, wrong feeding methods, and bringing in sick birds from other places. That's what County Agent Bobbins says. If you want to keep your chickens healthy, take good care of them. See that everything about the poultry house and yards is kept clean. I take out the droppings every day. That helps to keep the air pure and fresh. A lot of disease germs go out of the coop when I take the droppings out. Then I sprinkle ashes on the dropping boards. I clean out the old straw from the nests and put new straw in every 3 or 4 weeks. You'll notice I've just finished whitewashing the inside of the house. I do this every October. You can make the whitewash by slaking lime in boiling water and then thinning it out so it can be put on with a brush. I put in about 4 ounces of carbolic acid to each gallon of whitewash. That knocks the bacteria. Every spring and fall, I plow the runs to bury the droppings and to turn up fresh earth. Then I keep the drinking dishes and feed troughs perfectly clean all the time. Once a week, I wash the drinking fountains out with boiling water. About every 4 months, I clean out the hoppers and put fresh shell and grit in them, if the old isn't gone yet. Once in a while, I give the whole flock a dose of Epsom salts. I've been saying, keep the hens well. Don't let disease get a start. That's fine. The thing to do. But sometimes disease gets a start in spite of all your care. When it does, clean up the coops as well as the hens. Disinfect the houses. The government bulletins told me to apply the disinfectant thoroughly to the interior of the houses. Work it into all the cracks and crevices. Spread it over the ceilings, floors, roosts, dropping boards, and the nest boxes. When you wash the feeding and drinking troughs with boiling water, leave them out in the sun to dry. Use a good spray pump for the disinfectant. Protect your hands and face when you do the spraying. Ordinary lime wash makes a good spray. If you want to make doubly sure that you'll kill the bacteria, the lice and mites and other parasites, add 6 ounces of crude carbolic acid to each gallon of lime wash. Cresol is one of the best disinfectants. Buy the compound solution of Cresol and add 1 pint of it to 10 quarts of soft water. That makes a good spray. A 5% solution of carbolic acid, 1 pint of carbolic acid to 10 quarts of water, is good too. Choose the disinfectant that is most convenient to get or make, but be sure it is a disinfectant that will kill bacteria. There are some disinfectants on the market that are not very effective. Usually it doesn't pay to treat a sick chicken. There's no profit in spending $2 to cure a $1 hen. If the chicken gets pretty sick, use the hatchet, unless the hen is an especially valuable layer, breeder, showbird, or all 3. Always take sick chickens out of the flock. Sometimes, if they aren't too sick, just letting them run out in the open, away from the rest of the flock, will cure them. Be careful that you don't spread the disease yourself. If you treat a sick bird and then go right in the henhouse and handle the water dishes, you might spread the disease to others in the flock. Reasonable care of the chickens will prevent a lot of sickness, especially this time of year. Chickens breathe fast, give off a great deal of moisture. That is why it is necessary to have the houses dry and well ventilated. During the spring and summer, chickens on free range get plenty of exercise. About now, we shut them up in close houses and wonder why they get sick. If you keep the birds shut up close, see that they get a lot of exercise during the day. Scatter the grain in the litter so they'll have to dig for it. The hens should be kept just hungry enough so they'll work for their feed. But don't leave any wet or spoiled grain in the litter. Experts tell me to remember the 5 main causes of poultry diseases, and then see that I have something to fight each one of them with. So I do this. Instead of letting the houses and yards get filthy, I keep them clean. I have the houses dry instead of damp. For poor ventilation, I have substituted muslin front windows and ventilators at the back of the coops. I feed the birds a variety of clean, sound food instead of making them eat sour, unclean food. And finally, I take sick birds away from the rest of the flock and never bring a sick one in. That's why you hear these hens singing in here. Prevention is better than cure. Sick hens don't lay, but I can prove that well hens do.
This show was researched and produced by BreakAway Empire LLC.